Before we begin, viewer discretion is advised. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Makes me want to smack you upside the head.
That's why guys don't want to have
Would that be an
everything.
itch?
That would be an itch. And that would be really interesting. You could like open something up
It's
there
like,
in a
why
big
does
way.
your chewing annoy me so much?
Hearing another person chewing is you're hearing the essence of who they are, their otherness, their bodily functions.
It's good to know
Yeah.
because the girls and I are very irritated.
Ew. Everyone hates him at the table. This poor man sits down every night to nothing but contempt. And somehow Michelle Obama thinks this is going to make her super relatable by always talking about how much she loathes her life partner and husband, the former president of the United States, Barack Obama. So you tell me whether we were sold a bag of goods by a media that for years wanted us to buy them.
Megyn Kelly. Yes, that Megyn Kelly, the one with a smirk that says, I know something you don't, just went full detective mode on Michelle Obama. And no, this isn't about another cookbook release or a gym selfie gone viral. What she dug up is far juicier and weirder and the kind of twist that'll have your brain begging for a vacation. Stick around, by the end of this you might start questioning everything you thought you knew.
100% right. By the way, Joy Reid went to Harvard. I mean, that's all you really need to know about what a farce affirmative action is. She went to Harvard. Michelle Obama went to Princeton. Sheila Jackson Lee went to Harvard. And Ketanji Brown Jackson did too. So Michelle Obama has already admitted before that she got into Princeton via affirmative action. That's how Charlie knew it. And listen to her. She went on the Lewis Howes podcast. It was released in May of 2025, but they cut a shorter version and re-released parts of it just now, which is how it caught our attention. And listen to what Michelle Obama says.
Before we dive headfirst into this rabbit hole, hit that subscribe button. Helps more than you realize. Now, you think you know Michelle Obama, right? The polished, graceful, camera-ready former First Lady who could deliver a TED Talk while doing synchronized choreography in designer heels. Think again. Because Megyn Kelly, the journalist who can make even legends sweat under pressure, just turned her lens on Michelle. And what she found is nothing short of jaw-dropping.
Great test taker. I was a great grade getter, but I wasn't good on SAT. So I had good grades, not great scores. So all the scores said, you don't belong at Princeton. And there were people who saw me, saw the color of my skin and said, you're aiming too high.
Sure.
Imagine going to
did
these
they?
schools being told that you're not ready. And that was my first insecurity of thinking, well, maybe I don't belong here. And that's the world telling you that you don't belong, even though it's like, well, all my experiences up until this point say that why wouldn't I belong here?
So how did you overcome that?
Because you
belief
had
that
bad
don't
SAT.
belong?
This isn't your average gossip piece. Michelle isn't just being examined. She's under a supernova spotlight of scrutiny, launched straight into orbit by Megyn Kelly's relentless curiosity. In the glossy universe of political glamour, where every Instagram post and every Oprah moment feels perfectly choreographed, Megyn caught a whiff of something off script. And when Megyn smells a story, she hunts it down.
There she is saying almost exactly what Charlie said, that she did not have the scores. Another way of saying it would be brain power. It is an aptitude test to get into Princeton on her own, that they had to lower the standards for her. And they were willing to do that because of the color of her skin. But she changes it to the color of her skin led people to believe she didn't belong at Princeton. No, the color of her skin is the reason she got into Princeton and got a lifetime of
And hunt she did. Behind the pearls, the poised smile, and the motivational glow lies something no one saw coming. A truth so bizarre it makes you wonder if the entire nation has been politely ignoring the real show this whole time. It's the kind of twist that peels back the curtain on America's favorite fairy tale.
Obama, as you know, has got a podcast and she's putting it to good use. I mean, she's really working through a lot of her feelings about the United States, about her husband, about her children. P.S. The answer on all three of those is she can't stand them. She hated motherhood. She can't stand her marriage, and she's not too keen on the United States of America. And there's another thing she's not too keen on, and that is being...
Now let's be honest, Michelle Obama is untouchable. Or so we thought. She's built a public image with the precision of a rocket engineer and the grace of a queen. But Megyn Kelly isn't exactly known for playing nice. She doesn't tiptoe. She cannonballs straight into the chaos. And what she found isn't just gossip, it's gold. This isn't about broccoli or Bo the dog. What Megyn uncovered could make headlines, melt Twitter, and make the world collectively double-take.
Has a podcast, and near as I can tell, she devotes some 90% of it to telling us why she can't stand Barack Obama.
Wait, she has a podcast?
She does. No one is watching it. Yeah. Literally, I think we are the only ones who watch it.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know
and
that. That's amazing.
Yeah, she has a podcast, and all she does is rip on her husband. I mean, truly, every show has got a new update on how she can't stand him. The latest was she cannot stand watching him chew at the dinner.
And the best part, the details are just petty enough to be addictive and just dramatic enough to feel like a Netflix original. Picture this. You're scrolling through wholesome Michelle memes, latte in hand, when Megyn Kelly drops her bombshell. Suddenly, America's image of polished perfection starts to shimmer and crack, revealing something far more interesting underneath. A human being with quirks, contradictions, and a hilariously relatable streak of chaos.
Bitter about it, Victor. Still to this day. And Charlie's being called a racist for saying exactly what she said in that clip.
Yeah, and you know, it's weird. I've spent over 50 years in academia at a number of institutions, and I can tell you that among the faculty, one of the greatest criticisms is that they do let in legacies. A lot of the legacies are very qualified, but they do let in legacies. So she says, well, there are all these legacies here and everybody doesn't, and that's as criticized as affirmative action. And I can tell you, in the CSU system that I taught in, I would get calls from coaches and say, Victor, this guy is middle linebacker, or this guy, I don't know how he ended up in your class, but if you got to do something.
Because let's face it, we love Michelle for being iconic, but we adore discovering that even icons have offbeat moments. Megyn didn't just scratch the surface. She went full excavation mode. Turns out, Michelle's world runs on a level of order that makes Marie Kondo look disorganized. We're talking color-coded shoes, alphabetized spice racks, and books sorted by emotional tone. It's not just neat, it's elite-level organization that borders on comedic villain energy. And Megyn, she couldn't resist turning it into cultural comedy gold.
To ask you guys earlier, like, what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel like you're present?
In the life I live, which is so abnormal now, it's like being outside.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I say this a lot, something that comes with fame that people that they don't appreciate, they're not cautious of, is the loss of.
But the real fun begins with the cracks in that flawless image. The tiny glimpses of rivalry, obsession, and hidden sass. Because yes, even the most elegant figures throw shade. Sometimes with words, sometimes with an accidentally pointed Instagram caption. Megyn Kelly spotted those moments like a hawk. She's the anti-filter in a world obsessed with filters, the one who says, okay, but what happens when the camera's off? And what she found wasn't scandal. It was beautifully human imperfection.
Held a gun to her head and made her run for the White House and become First Lady twice. Though you wouldn't know that to hear her talk. And on top of that, you know, like Laura Bush, she kind of went off into the sunset and never bothered anybody again. Barbara Bush certainly did that. Hillary Clinton didn't. But Michelle Obama decided to launch a podcast where she talks about herself incessantly. That there's the woman she had on who was questioning her was a relationship therapist talking all about Michelle's relationship with Barack. Again, P.S. Spoiler, she can't.
Behind the calm exterior, there's a storm of quirks and contradictions. Take her book tours, elegant on stage but behind the scenes. According to Megyn, it's part comedy, part chaos. Ever heard of the eyebrow of doom? Megyn swears it's real. One look that can silence a room of professionals in seconds. Then there's the color obsession. Not just her wardrobe, everything. Pens, pillows, binders. All perfectly matched. The White House apparently lived in fear of mismatched decor while the rest of the world argued about gas prices.
just as bitter as ever. There's such a great new, spin of complaints here. Here's one from her most recent episode, which still on YouTube, she's got 200,000 subscribers. It's really amazing. And now she's been doing this for how many episodes? She's been literally on every podcast of the left wing promoting it. And that's still all she's managed to get. Here she is interviewing Dr. Sharon Malone, perhaps better known as former Attorney General Eric Holder's wife. And therein lies the problem, as these two ladies married to two very famous men are pissed that they are not the alpha in terms of popularity and recognition.
And oh, the competitive streak. Rumor has it, one casual Scrabble game with Barack turned into a Cold War. The man never stood a chance. Beneath that grace lies a ruthless competitor with a smile sharp enough to slice through ego. But Megyn didn't just stop at quirks. She highlighted the contradictions. The First Lady of Health and Discipline who, after a long day, sneaks into her secret cookie stash. Conic. Not hypocrisy, humanity. That's what makes her fascinating.
Wailing as she sits across from him I want to smack his face for the chewing. She doesn't like motherhood. She's 0 to 13 were traumatic and horrible. Meanwhile, that's basically all of motherhood. It's all you have after that is high school. And now here she's out again. Honestly, you can't stop her. Every single episode, there's something more. Here was the latest that just happened yesterday.
College stuff. Making her bed, because whenever they went to camp or somewhere, I said, I'll make your bed once and I'll make it really.
Megyn breaks it all down like a scientist analyzing human behavior. Every eyebrow raise, every midnight journaling ritual, every perfectly timed sip of water becomes part of the pattern. What she paints isn't mockery. It's admiration wrapped in irony. Michelle's perfection isn't about flawlessness. It's about balance. Controlled chaos hidden behind composure. It's the genius of someone who can be both relatable and unreachable at the same time.
Reaching over our heads and spilling water on us, trying to get to these two, illustrious men.
And that's annoying because she's supposed to be the star. Michelle Obama. This dovetails perfectly with so many other comments she's made about how she is, what about me? What about me? What did those 8 years in the White House do to my soul? And why isn't anyone asking? They shouldn't have to be told to.
And just when you think you've heard it all, Megyn drops the weirdest details yet. Small staff competitions, debates about pen alignment, and hobbies so niche they sound made up. But that's the beauty of it. Even legends are a mix of brilliance and bizarre. In the end, Megyn doesn't expose Michelle. She humanizes her. From cookie raids to color-coded chaos, we see a woman who's disciplined, flawed, powerful, and hilariously real. That's not perfection, that's mastery. The mastery of being human while the world watches.